Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I'm just going to take a few seconds because I know we just came on about a minute later. Just want to make sure that we are on Facebook. Okay, I am hearing a little. So if you're hearing a little echo, let me know because I'm hearing an echo right now. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm still hearing it, but we're going to push through. Ashley, can you do me a favor? Can you lower your volume down maybe on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's try that. Okay. Yeah, that was it. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me just check to make sure that we are on Facebook, and we are, which is great. So here we go. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing today? This is Lisa Marie Eard with Campus Bound GPS, where we help students and parents navigate the college application process. And this is October Tips. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Lisa Marie Aird, Collegiate Success Coach for Campus Bound GPS. And with October Tips, we provide a tip daily to our students, to our parents who are navigating the college application process so that you can reduce some of the overwhelm, so that you can enjoy the college application process and enjoy your senior year. And also go through a process where you know you are selecting the college or university that is the best fit for you. So I have a treat for you all tonight. I know you're probably tired of hearing me every night, so I decided to make sure that I had some more guests come on. And I'm excited because, like I told you all earlier this week on Saturday, I presented at it's the Teen Summit, and it was for STEM students. And it was a great experience dealing with the younger children. So my guest is going a little younger. Ashley Scott, she is the owner of the Oxford Learning Academy, and she is here to share her tip. And it's all about preschool activities that impact college readiness. And I am so excited because I've always said exposure and experience starts early. And I want to welcome Ashley. Hello, Ashley. How are you this evening?
I am good. Good evening. How are you?
I am well. Okay, so for our audience, I'd like you to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about the Oxford Learning Academy.
Okay, so I'm Ashley Scott. Thrilled to be here, Lisa. I've been looking and reviewing some of your work. It's amazing and incredible what you're doing to impact the communities, like not just in Virginia at this point, like you're nationwide. So this is a big deal.
Thank you.
But we have a preschool here in Tallahassee, Florida. We serve infants to 5 years old. And it's about 163 students that we are able to serve throughout the school year. We also offer tutoring to students as well, which are in your K through 5 or K through 8 public, who are in public and private and charter schools that need some one-on-one remediation, or they want to continue to expand their skills as well. So we work with them as well.
Awesome. That is a much needed gift to the community, to our children, so that we start them off early. And I'm going to let you start off on your tip, and I just go ahead and start because this is a really awesome tip. And just knowing that everything starts young.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, one of the things that we look at, because my background isn't just, oh, we woke up and one day we wanted a preschool. I've had years of working with community systems as a teacher, as an administrator, as a district level administrator. In our community, I've been, blessed and fortunate to have the skills to be able to write over about $60 million worth of grants here locally, which everything that we do, we look at student data. And so with that, there was just this huge need of finding quality preschool providers. Not that we don't have them now, but finding more because the kids are just increasing by numbers. And one of the things that I found was with the National Council of Early Education and Childhood. They actually put out kind of like a journal document that kind of shared how colleges and universities or schools, they're looking at third grade reading scores, right? To determine the trajectory of students, how
Wow.
they perform on that FSA, which is the Florida State assessment. Of course, that test will no longer be, but they were using that particular test to determine and forecast how many students would be able to matriculate through grade school into college or career readiness programs. So if you're looking at just right there in third grade as a whole, that's 2 years essentially. 3 years from preschool, from a 4-year-old, and so everything that we do at our preschool, we do look at data as well, and we figure out how do we build a solid foundation to plant those seeds so that the students can be successful.
That's amazing. That is wonderful. I think what you're doing is a gem for your community. That I really love it. When my son was little, he and just thinking about this topic, I used to feed into his curiosity. At first, I couldn't understand it because he was in preschool actually, and he would be playing in the yard, and then all of a sudden he would just stop, crouch down, and he'd be looking at insects, and I'm just like, okay. And then when he started playing baseball, little league, he would do the same thing. The coach would say, "Justin, baseball ready," and because he was distracted, because he would look down at the field and look at the insects. So I'm like, okay, what is this child going to be? So,
Yes.
feeding curiosity, looking at all of that, that's kind of interesting.
Oh my gosh, yes. And so it's everything. We know that the 90% of brain growth takes place between 0 to 5 years old. So just the idea that your baby was able to conceptualize, I mean, he wasn't really able to conceptualize that he was dealing with, what in different types of species. But the idea that he had that level of exposure, where he was able to create, where you were able to create as a parent that background knowledge, that's one of the tips themselves, on my list. So that's pretty cool. That's very cool. What we try to do in that regard at our school, we use it's almost called like world language, right? So that's where we communicate if you're working on a math problem and they're demonstrating, because our kids are able to, at this point, they know they can add to five. They know letter names, they know sounds. They are actually working on blends. Some that we've had since last year are actually reading now. So we're trying to work on fluency. So even with those kids and just looking in general, it's just the idea of when we're saying, oh, hey, you're looking at insects. Okay, would you be environmental scientist? And then explaining what an environmental scientist is, or you would be a veterinarian. What type of animals work on on the different animals? So those are things that we do, which is where we call world language. We embed that in everything that we do at our school.
You know what? This is a good segue because I mentioned to you that there was a young lady who was on Campus Bound GPS last year. Her name's Tiffany Davis. She was a rocket scientist. And one of the questions I asked her, and I think this is in alignment. So, as a teacher, you are equating things that your young students are exploring. The question I posed to her was, as a parent, what are some things that we can do with our children, especially, so she's in the STEM field, so especially in the STEM field, to encourage or support So if you wouldn't mind, can I just play this little clip?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me see if I'm doing this correctly, because this is the first time I'm adding something like this to the program. So I'm kind of excited as well. So when I think about your journey, I also think about my son's journey, because my son is an engineer as well. And he was super curious. And his curiosity peaked at an early age. So I do understand, and I do appreciate parents who feed into that curiosity, feed into the observation, and nurture their children. So can you tell me, what are some things you feel that parents can do, especially when they're nurturing a STEM student?
Absolutely. I think what's most important is to never turn an idea down, never turn an interest down or a spark of creativity. So if you have a young daughter that's really interested in makeup, for example, you can nurture that within the STEM field by letting her know that, you know, she can become a chemical engineer and create her own makeup, or a businesswoman and have her own makeup company. Same thing with our young men. If you have a little boy that's interested in video games, you know, you can tell him that he can be a video graphic game designer or computer engineer and code their own video games. I think it's very important to hone in on whatever they're interested in, even if it's, you know, Superman and jetpacks, you know, and relate that to something that they can do in the future in their career and still maintain their interests and what they're passionate about.
I totally agree, because I'll tell you this. My son was interested in lightning.
Okay, electrical. Okay.
I was afraid of lightning. He embraced it. And for his program, as a sophomore, he had to choose a topic or something to research. And he wanted to research lightning strikes. And as a parent, I had to embrace something I was afraid of.
Yeah.
But still, you know, help him with his journey, nurture his journey. So I appreciate you saying this, and coming from a student, from a student's perspective, how, you know, you want your parents to nurture you and build you up and, you know, get you through. When I think of, okay, so that was my little clip. And I totally see how it's complementary. So, you know, as a parent, it's good to nurture and, you know, see our students through the process and all that, but also get that extra coming from the school as well. So it's complementary. So it's really nurturing.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. When we think about, you know, human nature or early childhood education as a whole, in the essence of nurturing our kids, how do we help build their confidence so that they'll know that it's okay for them to have those interests, or for us to facilitate a way for them to be able to, you know, we're teaching them every day. It's kind of hard now with COVID because people aren't able to travel and go out and do things like they would more. So now kids aren't really able to apply those skills. So now that we're in a pandemic, you know, that's where that school to home partnership is key, because now we're able to create that space for those kids to apply what the parents are actually nurturing them or supporting us with at home. It's simple things like when I think of home living, you know, we think of the traditional, the dresses for the girls, the construction worker, but maybe switching that up, maybe having an astronaut suit as opposed to a construction worker, just giving them different things to think outside of the box, so it would just spark their curiosity. But we've created that language piece where they can see themselves in different professions. It starts in that pretty much that 2 to 5 year old range is where they start to conceptualize what they're doing in their free play time as well.
Nice. So we have a comment here. Lanisha Ely, she said good stuff. So, you know, she's really taking in the information that we're providing. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, okay.
It's so interesting because I think of parents as a whole and what is the biggest thing that parents could do to spark interest for their kids is reading. When we think of books, and I've said this a couple times on different guest appearances and Zooms, but books are windows, right? They're windows into our culture, windows into other people's cultures. They help us to see places that we may never go, things we may never do. Books are those windows of opportunities for us to learn. And so I think the sooner that we start reading to our kids, yes, it helps with language. Yes, it helps with phonemic awareness and reading, but it also creates the exposure that we're looking for.
Okay, so far I've heard that, at an early age, feed the curiosity and also read so that they can get exposed, young children can get exposed to not only their culture but other cultures, and those are activities that parents can do at an early age to start preparing our children to get college ready.
Correct. Yes. Because you're not going to have now at our school, we actually have college Fridays. So if you're ever looking on Facebook, we'll post, different pictures on Fridays. The kids are normally in Florida State or Florida agricultural and mechanical attire. Some days we switch it up and we want to have the Ivy League schools. So the teachers may wear Ivy League schools so that the kids they're starting to see, maybe not understand the names of the school, but they'll see the colors. And so they'll be after 27 times of listening to something, your brain actually remembers and processes it. So those are little subliminal things that we do with the kids where they don't know that we're doing college and career readiness. They just think, oh my gosh, it's cheerleading day, or oh, it's the day we get to wear, our FAMU t-shirts.
Nice. And then we have a FAMU rattler on the line, just posted up FAMU. But that's really nice, and it's a good way. What I do for one of the things I do when I do presentations for parents and talking to them about having that parent conversation or that family conversation, I call it family talk, is find out what your child's interest is. And it doesn't start junior year, it doesn't start senior year, it does start earlier. And if you have someone who is a child who's an athlete, and your local, if there's a school close by, a university close by, go to a college game, whether it's football, basketball, soccer, and just see what it's like, so that that also builds some kind of exposure for our young athletes as well. Or
That's so true, especially when we think of being, athletes. It's also, that piece of being, like I like to say, on and off the field. What are you on and off the field? So that counts as well. I know my baby, she's 4. My youngest is 4, and Zoe wants to be a princess veterinarian. But hey, we'll roll with it. I'll take it. Let's go. So she's a vet. She's a vet, but she's in a princess dress. So I'll take it. But it's never too early. When I think of, I remember being in public schools when I was the director for the Title I schools. We had elementary schools that participated in AVID. So you had those younger grade levels as well as the mid and high. They're participating in school-wide AVID type programs, which AVID is a thing that's offered in high school and middle school as well. So if you think about the idea of that happening in that time frame, just think about what would it happen if we take that. Of course, a lot of AVID is Cornell notes and things like that, so we cannot do that obviously in a pre-K setting. But there are some things that we could pull from that or garner from that we can use to increase that awareness for the kids, where they don't know, but we've created the fish hooks, basically, is what we call them.
Nice. So running down the list, because I always like repetition is mastery. So we started off with, things that, let me get this right because I didn't take notes, but I'm going off of my memory. Early exposure, having the conversation in the classroom with little activities. Also, parents fostering fostering and nurturing the activities that may spike or spark some kind of talent or skill that your young one might be interested in. Expose them to schools. So it sounds like if, in the school, you're doing college Fridays at home, if parents have gone to a school, they're an alum of a university, wear your college gear. Or if there's a university close by, if you are, if the parents are not college grads, you can visit local, or the nearest university that's in your area, and things of that sort. Anything else? Oh, I forgot the reading, reading books. Right. So anything else that you would like to, any other factors that, we've got about four so far that we've ran down the list. Anything else that you would like to say, or?
No, I think those are good things. I think those are
Mhm.
good starters. As
Okay.
far as our parents, just making sure that we're able to build that connection with the teacher in that classroom so that you know what's happening or where they are, what things or what goals they're working on. A big part of our preschool is a little bit different from a traditional preschool setting. We actually look at data. We assess our children every month. We can progress monitor them and tell you where they are. However, we do have conferences with parents every quarter. So if we look at it from that perspective, we're able to kind of be a little bit more transparent with parents so that we're able to catch. We can teach the kids what their deficits are. If we need one-on-one instruction, then we have partnerships with different universities and other systems so that we have those folks that can have that create that one-on-one, which is a perfect environment for kids to learn anyway. They have that situation. So there's a lot to be that you can do. I would say the biggest takeaway of anything is reading. Our school has a 1,000 book club chat. We're a part of that national challenge where our parents have basically agreed to read 1,000 books before the kid goes to kindergarten. So if they got there when they're an infant, that won't be so hard. But if you just got there in the middle of the year, you got some work to do. So we do a lot of emphasis on reading because our kids become what they see. And it's okay if no one in our family has been to college or we don't know what that looks like or we've never complete. It's okay. But if we're reading a story and we can see that character in the book and that looks like me and mommy, I want to do that. That's all you really need to begin. Those are the seeds and the fish hooks that we need.
I love it. I wrote that down. Our kids become what they see. I really like that. And you also talked about confidence, and just repetition and exposure builds confidence. So I really enjoy it. So I have a statement here. It says, very good information. Sounds like we are talking about building a foundation for higher ed success. Definitely. This has been an amazing conversation. Ashley, thank you so much. So how can people get in contact with you?
So you can look at our website. You can go to oxfordlearningacademy.com or learning at oxford.com. On Facebook, we're under Oxford Learning Academy. You'll see the owl. You can check out the parent reviews. You can check out some things that we're actually doing in our community and with our parents. We also, as part of our commitment to philanthropy, our family, which is my husband and I, we also have a nonprofit. We have a plethora of board members who are so diverse in corporate, nonprofits, and in education at Creative Mind Solutions, Inc. So you can go there as well. We have a Facebook group with about 850 folks from around the world. And so just join that group because we're going to have some great things coming out that are free, free things to support and literature to support parents through all of the K-12 process.
That is beautiful. It is amazing. I love what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you for being our guest tonight. And it's never too early. That's the message I'm taking away. It's never too early to prepare your child for college. So, Ashley, again, thank you for coming on this evening. I appreciate your information. Parents, take it in, take it all in. So it's never too early. So, on that note, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Lisa Marie Eard with Campus Bound GPS October Tips. We did it. We did it. We did it. We are at day 19. I am so excited. It's downwards now, but there's more to come. So thank you. Stay tuned. Have a good evening and definitely be safe.